Welcome to the Ian and Taryn Podcast.
Online.
Welcome to the Ian and Taryn Podcast. This is just Ian. We're joined by Michael. On Instagram, he's Bougie Black Bro. On his YouTube, it's Bougie Black Brother Network. We're going to talk about wine, we're going to talk about current events, and we're going to have some fun. All right, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Ian.
Yeah, not a problem. Hope you're
I really
enjoying your day
appreciate
in
the
Georgia.
opportunity. Yes, I am in the mid-50s, hoping for it to get a little higher
Yeah.
so I can get a tan, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. So I got some kind of wine facts that after I wrote them down, I'm like, I don't like, because to me, you're like the wine expert. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to stump him with some of these.
I don't know.
So I don't want it to be that sort of thing. So we'll just make it like casual, like you're not a wine expert. You enjoy wine. You like to talk about wine.
Yeah. I just walked to the bar and we sat down.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you drink beer too, right?
Here and there.
A little bit. What about like a whiskey?
German beer guy.
Oh,
whiskey?
you like? Yeah.
Man, I haven't moved to whiskey yet.
Okay.
I'm not over now.
No hard alcohol at all?
Just premium vodka.
Okay, vodka.
Yeah.
Nice. There's so much to learn in the wine world, I've found. Like there's just like your name, like there's the bougie aspect, then there's just like I like this kind of wine, There's so many levels to it. I even saw on your channel, it's like crystal versus glass.
Yep.
Yep. And I feel like some of the mystique of wine is like, ooh, like look at me, like I'm drinking out of crystal, or I have this special wine, and it kind of like it makes you feel better about what you're doing, right? Seems more classy and fun.
Right.
It's maybe
but
similar.
It doesn't have to.
Huh?
It doesn't have to be.
Right. Yeah. As Taryn and I go about it, we're like, okay, what's on the bottom shelf? Like, what can we stomach?
Stay within that budget.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That goes into my question. What's the most expensive wine you've had?
So one of the most expensive wines I had was a Bordeaux from France that was about 180 something, put it that way. Now, I'm a guy, I'm very cheap, but I'm smart. So I never bought that. I sat down with a couple of people and they wanted to impress people and say, hey, Michael, what do you recommend? I say, well, what do you like? Because I wanted to be a sommelier, which is a wine expert that can know where wine come from, where the soil was. But I didn't have enough money to travel the world to do that.
Definitely.
So they found that I had a taste and knowledge that can distinguish what a person liked. So this guy who had a lot of money, he liked it whiskey, and he really liked it dry type of drinks. So when I recommended this Bordeaux from France, which is a mixture of Cabernet and Merlot, or Merlot and Carmenere, different types of wine mix, he liked it because it had that heavy, dark fire taste in the back of your throat. He was like, wow, this is a great recommendation. And I was like, wow, this is good, but I'll never pay this freaking amount of money.
Definitely,
But it was good, though. It was a really good, complex wine that related to something that a whiskey drinker would actually drink.
Okay, so it's more about tailoring it to the actual person.
Okay. Or the food.
Okay. Yeah, I was watching a few like videos on like some people go like red goes with beef and white goes with fish, but that's not necessarily always true.
Absolutely.
So that tells me really it can go any which way you want, depending on your palate, and everyone's palate's different.
Ooh, you said palate.
I did say palate, yeah. I've been researching.
You just said palate.
Yeah. I've really learned a lot in this past maybe 10 hours trying to come up with a good game plan for today.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I do.
All right. Well, if you're impressed by Palate, have you ever had a wine with sediment at the bottom?
Yes, and sediment not necessarily means it's a bad wine. It means the sediment from the wine and the way it was stored just collected at the bottom. So you should always store your wine sideways. And the longer you actually hold that wine, you should turn it. You continue to turn it so it never settles. It will stay within the liquid.
Oh,
There's
wow.
always, in the bottle.
Jeez.
So it's okay because the sediment comes from, remember, if they crush in the grapes, there's skin, there's the pits of them, there's small things. All of that get crushed in there. But it's so minute and all that while you're drinking it, you probably won't taste it unless it sits long enough and it begins to settle.
So if I'm a rich billionaire guy and my watches, they have the automatic watch turners that spin around, shouldn't I have that for my wine?
Yeah, you can do that and put it in a cabinet, or you can hire just a person
to turn it.
To come and turn your wine.
Oh, yeah, easier.
Just turn your wine.
Yeah. Oh, that's much better.
There you go. Just a part-time guy. You don't need him full-time.
Definitely, yeah. I'll have to start looking for that guy right now.
That's right.
So I'm just curious if you have an idea when the oldest wine was discovered. Not like a drinkable wine, but it appears to me like the earliest evidence of wine.
So if I remember, and I'm not really a big historian, but I remember reading about, I think it was Egyptian or somewhere in the Middle East, they found like a clay bottle of wine. So if you look within the Egyptian dynasty in that period, that was the wine that I remember.
You are right. You are right. It's the Middle East, 7,000 years ago.
Wow.
Yep.
There you go.
Nice. So this is going very well.
I hope I'm impressing you.
Oh, no, you're doing well. I'm going to change gears a little bit. Just because I was looking at your Instagram, I'm like, okay, not only are you into wine, you're also into rap.
Yep.
And I'm from Long Beach, so I grew up in the culture. I love rap myself. How do you feel about the Nipsey Hussle album, Victory Lap?
So I did a review on that. My other podcast is called Car Wax. So I did that with my son. So I like Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
And what I was listening to him earlier, I love his style. It's kind of raw. But when he came out with this release, it was almost, to me, wasn't as good as what he put out before. So I was kind of disappointed in it.
I hear you on that. Because usually he's so street, so kind of whatever about it, that this one was so like, wait for it. And I'm like, was it the best,
Right. So people thought that I didn't like it. Right. I did like it, but it wasn't what I expect from Nipsey.
Yeah, because he hyped it up so much. Like, you have to be on like a Jay-Z, Beyonce level to hype something that much.
Right.
Right. But for what he does, I think it's solid. It's right in his lane. I like what he's doing. And it kind of fits his performance style of like laid back. I'm just saying this to you. I'm not trying to like really make this a crazy performance,
Right. So, and he didn't go with the promoting it like it's a good thing. He didn't go with the I'm trying to over commercialize either.
Right.
He did it well. But I got some criticism like, oh man, so you don't like him? I said, I didn't say I didn't like him. When you have a good performance by a person, you appreciate it. But then when they tell you they're going to be great and it's not great, you get disappointed.
Definitely. Yeah. And like for me, it's like he's a little bit hard to be commercial because he's so almost specialized. Like
Yeah.
you have to like this sort of music exactly. It's
Mhm.
real street, real direct, real gangster, whatever. It's like you have to really be into that. So why even try and push it so commercial in the first place?
Absolutely.
But you
So,
got to make money. So
yeah,
understand
and
that.
that's his side hustle because he's into cryptocurrency too, and he has a business that he's running. I think with some partnerships in Great Britain. And I was searching that. I was like, man, these dudes is making money everywhere.
Oh,
So
definitely.
so smart, really guy too. So you really
Definitely.
got to respect his hustle game.
Oh, of course. And to me, it seems kind of wasteful if you make that kind of money and you're not doing other stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So anyone, like, they always go, oh, these rappers are such good businessmen. It's like, no, when you have that much money, you pretty much have to go out and do this and that, or you're straight
yeah,
up crazy.
yeah. Or food, yeah.
How do you feel about the crypto stuff?
So I came late in the game because it's funny you asked me that because I have another podcast called Millennial Money Management
Oh my
where
God.
I sit with millennials and try to get them to start looking at investing their money
Yeah.
and that budgeting their money. But I came late into crypto because being a part of tech, and we was trading money back and forth, and overseas and everything. It was easy to do it with crypto, but I didn't invest in it. I was just using it to pay off stuff that I needed overseas, and my wife is into tech too, so I've done that.
Oh,
So
wow.
now that it's dropping because they're trying to regulate it, I could have capitalized on it earlier, but I'm a patient investor. So I know even when the regulation hits, it'll stabilize and then I think it's going to continue to be a bigger currency within the world because it's easier to use than trying to do conversions.
Definitely, yeah. And it makes sense to me. I'm just scared because, like you're saying, like one regulation could really shut it all the way down.
Or
So
limited.
What?
Yeah, limited.
Oh,
So if it
definitely.
limits it, then your currency won't never be back to the way you can make money off. It'll be fluctuating like the dollar
Yep.
or gold or silver. And then you got to really put big time money in order to make money from it.
Yeah, and that's just too scary for me. I just had a thought back to the Nipsey thing. Why doesn't he call it cryptocurrency? I just thought of that.
Did that. Sorry, did that.
Oh, that'd be funny. But man, how do you have 3 podcasts?
How do I have 3 podcasts? I actually have about 6 podcasts.
What? What are the other ones? Because you got Call Wax.
Yep.
Millennial Money Management.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Urban Wine Life. Urban Wine. Yeah, Urban Wine Life, which is all about wine.
Nice.
It's just me by myself. Then I got Urban Lifestyle Cafe, which is about movies and TV shows that I do with me and my wife.
Wow.
Then I have another one called Minorities Report that I have people in different minorities that are doing things in the community back and forth. So I do small interviews with people from that. I have one. What else? Oh my God, I'm just losing it. I do them every week, or I try to do them every week. But I also have a woman tech talk. So my wife goes around the world doing conferences and she talk tech. And when she's not doing the talk tech, I'm doing like small tech things because I'm a big Apple guy.
Okay,
so when we go to these conferences, we all, I do maybe a technical update and any new things. I do an open box as well as things after that. So I got about 6. I dropped off the basketball one because I just couldn't keep up with doing 6 different ones. And
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Wow. And what's the tech one called?
The tech one is Woman Tech Talk.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so crazy. Referring to the Minorities Report one, have you heard it's Diddy and I forget who, but they're making an app to connect Black businesses to people. So when a business is Black owned, which I thought was a very good idea. Yeah.
No.
So it's in the works.
Okay, I gotta look out for that.
Yeah. So
This.
Huh?
Yeah, you need to DM me on that when that comes out. That'll
Definitely.
be
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Diddy. I don't know if you've he kind of sponsors the Drink Champs podcast. I don't know if you've heard of that.
no, I'm writing stuff down.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's Drink Champs podcast is Noriega and DJ EFN. They basically get all at least my generation's rappers on, and they get drunk and they talk all this stuff. Like, it's super fun. They get drunk too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bet that's exciting.
Oh, it's very exciting. And actually, speaking of Diddy, I don't want to talk him down, but he might have came out as gay, maybe. Not that it's a huge thing, but he called Fabulous daddy a few times. Yeah, so it's kind of there, but it's not there. It's kind of weird. But whatever,
breaking news.
Yeah, let him do him. Don't care, whatever his preference. Yeah. Kind of weird though.
I'm good. Yep, I'm good.
Back to wine.
Okay.
Decanting wine. How do you feel about it?
So, decanting wine. I'll be honest with you. It's a show.
Right.
It looks really cool to decant wine and say, look at here I am with my beautiful bottle that I can pour out of. If you're not going to drink all your wine at once and you had wine that was sitting, it's good to decanter it because that's where you catch a lot of sediment too.
Okay,
perhaps
right.
pouring it into there. So it catches the sediment.
Yeah.
And you don't have that. And now you're drinking more pure liquid than the mix with the sediment. But most people just do it just because it looks really pretty to put that decanter on the table and have your glasses around it.
Definitely. Yeah, it does. And from what I'm hearing, it's more for the smell. Maybe it gets rid of that harsh sulfite smell and maybe brings out some of the normal smell. So not really taste so much.
Breathes. Yeah, it breathes, but taste as well.
Yeah.
So let me give you a quick hint on taste. When red wine sits out, it breathes better, and you get a really open taste on it. So it does change the taste. Okay. If it's tight within the bottle, you're getting it straight like that because it feels constrained. It almost sounds like it's alive, but it is because when you put that in a tight vacuum seal, it has to breathe out, and once it breathes out, it becomes something totally different.
Definitely.
So it's useful. I try to get my glass to breathe. So before I start drinking right away, I'll let my wine sit for at least a couple of minutes, and then it'll breathe and it'll open up, and then you can go from there.
And do you swirl and all that stuff?
I do all this swirl.
Yeah. It's
it
important.
looks impressive too.
Yeah, definitely. So did you know that the ancient Romans used to add flavors to their wine?
Add flavors like fruits and dates and
I was seeing fish sauce, garlic,
nope, didn't
lead.
Get that.
Yeah, crazy stuff. But I couldn't imagine trying to make it a punch almost, I guess that's what they're trying to do. But I guess the wine back then probably wasn't as good.
Yeah. And they didn't perfect the art. So it's kind of let's throw some halibut in there.
Yeah. Get the protein levels up in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Get some mercury in your system.
Definitely, yeah. Too much.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
If you were to guess, how many pounds of grapes are in a bottle of wine?
Ooh. So, I would say 200 pounds of grapes.
In one bottle of wine?
Yeah, I'm just guessing.
It's only half a pound.
Wow, that was an extreme one, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you've bought grapes at the store, right?
Yeah, well, I have a truck full of it, so I was thinking you were telling me about a truck.
Oh, right, okay. Man, grapes are at least $1 a pound.
Yeah, there you
Oh, that's funny.
go.
Uh,
Yeah.
so what are your favorite types of wine? Like, say, a Pinot Grigio or a Sauvignon Blanc, something like that?
So I got two extremes
Yeah.
because I love white and I love red. So I've grown very accustomed to Italian red Sangiovese. Now the Sangiovese makes like Chiantis and other mixtures, and then my other one is white, which is recent because I lived in Germany for about 8 years.
Oh, wow.
And all my friends, they either planted Riesling or the first thing they had with dinner, they'd bring out a Riesling because that's one of the prominent wines that's in Germany. So I just got used to it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm always going to go for a sweet wine. That's just what they served me. So my palate was so used to that. But as I began studying wine and researching wine, my palate is much wider. But I still tend to love those two sides: the Italian wines and Italian grapes, as well as the Riesling grapes, and then everything in between.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I never even heard of a Sangiovese. So I'll have to
Just
check that out.
always think Chianti.
Okay.
I always tell people, I say Sangiovese because it's a lot more acidic or bitter,
Yeah.
but fruitful. But a Chianti is not as bitter. It's a lot more laid back and smoother, and they make it that way. So I just got used to that. So me being a wine drinker, I like complexities in my wine. So they
Yeah.
was like, so if it's complex, why would you like a Riesling? I said, because it's not sweet, it's floral. So I'm smelling sunflowers. I'm smelling pineapples. I got honey smells. I got different woodsy textures inside of there. So I go with complexities as opposed to that's a sweet wine. And
Oh,
some people
definitely.
say, I want a sweet wine.
Yeah, yeah. Or something, neutral or something like that. Man.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's funny. What was I gonna go to? Did you know that for women, it's harder to break down the alcohol because of enzymes in their stomach?
Ooh.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Okay. Yeah.
Which makes
So
sense if you've drink, like, I don't want to be sexist, but if you've drinking heavy with women, it's like, why are you super drunk? And I'm like, I'm so okay.
Jack,
You
I
know?
want drink four. What's the
Yeah,
matter with
yeah.
you?
So there's some science to that apparently.
Right.
Which I
So
guess
you can
people would
always bring that
assume.
up.
Yeah, people would assume it's the size, like, oh, you're smaller than me,
Yeah,
but it's
that's the
not
reason.
that. Yeah.
Okay, enzymes. I'm gonna
Yeah,
take that one down too.
definitely. And do you know how wine is, I don't want to say made, but say given its color?
Given its color, yes, it's mostly by the skin of the grapes.
Right, you are
So,
right. All wine
so
starts off clear.
yep. Unless you keep the skin of the wine, which change the pigmentation. And then like rosés, so people thinking rosé is just a totally different wine.
Right.
It's just the amount of time that the skin is exposed a with the white portion. And
Yep.
once you squeeze it through, it's pink enough, up, pull those skins out and go
Yep.
from there.
That's exactly right. And that was on to my next question. So you're right there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Babe Rosé, which is like rosé wine in a can now?
So I've been trying different canned wines.
Yeah.
Because I did some. I think who had it? Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's had a couple, and I was reviewing it because it went really well because it was a sparkling can wine. It went really well if you're saying I'm going out on a picnic. I got a couple of beers in a
Yeah.
can, and I throw those. So I wanted to talk about it in reference to that. So it's okay.
Right.
It's not like, hey, I'm going to drink a can of wine in my bedroom with my lady.
Yeah.
No. That's a casual go out, crack that one open and that. I think there's nothing wrong with that. But me being that guy that the bougie,
Right.
I'm not going to drink a can of wine on my own. I'm
Yeah.
just not.
definitely.
But I would recommend canned wine because it gives the impression that you're not as, I'm above y'all because you're drinking a light beer from Miller and I got a bottle of wine here. Well, bring a can with you. You got a couple of cans, go chill.
Yeah, helps you fit in, kind of make it casual. Yeah,
exactly.
I get that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't hate on it. It seems like you're like all the way across the board, like from fancy to regular. Like you appreciate. Yeah, that's very cool to hear.
I go with the people. So I've learned even when I was studying is, there's people going to tell you that's the best wine because I say so.
Right.
I always say it's the best wine because of what you like. If you like a certain thing, I will recommend a wine for you because of what you like to eat or what you like to drink, because then we'll complement it. And some people say, I don't drink anything unless I'm happy with food. Then we'll go with food pairing. Oh, what can I chill with? Well, what do you chill with now?
Yeah.
A nice cool beer, and okay, let's get you a nice crisp Pinot Grigio.
Right,
because that one lines up like that way.
Yep, and in fact, that's what I like to drink, Pinot Grigio. I just had a Malbec, which I liked, kind of smooth.
Love Malbec. Yeah.
And are they traditionally smooth, or is the one that I got was smooth?
No, they are, but I recommend any Malbec from the Mendoza region. Those have the best, smoothest, in South America. I think, is it Colombia? No, Argentina. It's an Argentine wine.
Oh, wow.
But it's the Mendoza region. Anything that comes out of there that I bought. So I'm only quoting myself.
Right.
And then when I send it to people or have them drink it, they love it because it's smooth. But I drank so much of it that I changed. Because that was my go-to. That was my go-to wine for a long time.
Oh, I bet. Because then your baseline gets brought up and now you want something a little more maybe sharp or has some more flavor complexities to it.
Absolutely.
I'm still in the baby phase with 10. We're just like, what tastes the most like water right now?
Ice.
Yeah. Pinot Grigio. Okay, easy.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Right.
Easy enough. Okay, Michael, if you were to guess, how many varieties of grapes are there in the world?
Whoa.
Wine grapes.
Yeah. Wine grapes. I'd say about 300 to 400.
10,000.
10,000?
I know, that's what I said.
What?
There is not that many different wine names.
So there's certain wines or grapes that mix with other wine. They're never going to be a standalone grape.
Oh, okay.
They will never make this grape kind of wine.
Yeah.
And then some of them are regional. So this grape only grows in Spain or Portugal. So you really not going to see it really exported out of there. So they got indigenous grapes that's there. So to say 10,000, I kind of understand that because now I'm trying to get into the grapes that I've not had on a regular basis. So I'm doing a whole lot of different kind of wines that I've never tasted before.
Well, you got a big mission ahead of you.
I know, 10,000 already.
Oh, God. Man. All right, Michael. Well, this has been a great podcast. Appreciate you being on. Make sure to follow him on Instagram. Bougie Black Bro. I'll put it here on the bottom. Follow him on YouTube, Bougie Black Brother Network. And I'll put all your other podcasts on here too.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ian.
Take it easy. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right, that's been Michael, Bougie Black Bro on IG. We had some great wine talk there. Hopefully you guys learned something. I know I learned something. I have a million notes on here. So maybe we can, besides figuring out all of his podcasts that you can listen to, maybe we learned something about wine that we can go impress our friends about. All right, this has been the Ian and Taryn podcast. No Taryn, just Ian. We'll see you guys next. Don't want to put a date on this, next couple of days. All right, talk to you later. Bye.
You've been listening to the Ian and Taryn Podcast. See you next week.
Goodbye.